Good afternoon, YouTube. My name is Daith, and today I'm going to go over my experiences with the Mobile Suit Gundam GQuuuuuuX, the beginning movie that came out in theaters to introduce the new GQuuuuuuX anime series coming out this April. So, where to begin with this one? It's a bit weird because you really do have to go back to the beginning with this. So, it's been spoiled already online, but if you didn't already know, the way this begins is it's an alternate history take on the original Mobile Suit Gundam series. And we'll get into that here in a second here. So, from the beginning, you really do start at the beginning. We're talking like the first episode of Mobile Suit Gundam, but in an alternate history take, due to a one of the Xeon pilots not being, able to, field his suit, Char Aznable, the the original like rival pilot of the original series shown here, he actually gets a hold of the original RX-78-2 Gundam. The original Gundam that, was like the basis, the first mobile suit for the Federation forces in the original series. So, and here we have a look at it of the that version of the Gundam here. And they've updated the looks of this. The animation is definitely, upgraded. It's not doing the same thing as the origin where it was trying to like take the original designs and upscale them. Here we're actually getting kind of like a different artist's vision of it. If I remember right, this has something to do with the original like Evangelion artists. So, or whoever was behind that back in the day. I'm not fully on board with everything here. As you can tell, what else is new? So, anyways, as it goes on, the first this beginning movie is essentially supposed to be like the first three episodes of the upcoming series. Something that's been happening a bit more often here with like kind of the Demon Slayer movies, and well, that's the one that comes to mind at least. So, anyway, so the first episode or two feels like we're just getting the 1 year war of the original Gundam series retold, but it's all in basically Char's point of view as, he's taken the Gundam. Amuro is not seen at all. There is no Amuro Ray in this movie at all. So we don't even know how he comes in, if he ever comes into play later or not. So the first episodes play out, eventually Char gets an ally with one of the original characters from the series, Shalia Bull. Not super familiar with the original series myself. I know the character, but I'm not really remembering what his, deal was in the original series. It's, Mobile Suit Gundam is more my younger brother's thing than it is mine, I'll admit it. But like most of us, I got into the series back in the Toonami days, and Wing is more my primary, love for the series. But thanks to my younger brother, I do have a lot of, I do get a lot of the Universal Century, look in here. Anyways, so of course, being Char, friggin', he always has to, put his personal mark on his mobile suits. So of course he turns it red. Eh, what else is new? You're not gonna see, a whole lot of that, with any other, things in the series. But so the thing that, as the episodes go on, you see slight, detours this takes with the storyline of the original 1 year war, where like, basically the Federation, started putting, production into like mass most the mass-produced GM versions of the Gundam. Here, since Char took the original Gundam, the suit they had left was the gun cannon. So later on, you see that yes, they've kind of repurposed the gun cannon as one of their major suits, but in this whole of doing so, it also fluctuates power here and there because Xeon ends up stopping production of mobile suits and goes full production on like the mobile armors of the big Zom. So instead of like the one prototype in the original series, we end up seeing towards the end of this, look at the this version of the 1 Year War, they have multiple big Zoms, Zams, like whatever you call it. So, anyways, with the three different, with that going on, you have like three big Zoms, attacking and like so. Here's where I always get names confused. Near the end of the original series, you had that big asteroid base that they were going that Xeon had or whatever, and like you had the classic fight between Char and Amuro in the middle of it, where you're like, yeah, the Gundam holding his gun up headless or something like that and shooting it off or anyways that we still get to that point in the 1 Year War in a way, but you know this time Char's infiltrating it since I guess it's the Federation control, I guess, or something. I kind of this is one of those things where my unfamiliarity with it all is kind of like hitting here. But anyways, so Char infiltrates it, and Char's still got his own ways of he doesn't want the Zabi family of the Xeon to end up in control. So he's on this big old asteroid and it's on a course to hit the moon where like Cassilia Zabi is at the moment. Thank you, Gregory, for reminding me what her name is. So, anyways, so but Char is under the is showing that on the surface he's going down there to like set the charges to make sure it goes away off course from hitting the base. But of course, Char, having his own grudge against the Zabi family, pulls ends up pulling one of the charges to like make sure it does end up on course still and hits the Zabis. Except in this situation, since Amuro wasn't the major pilot or something, the pilot who comes in to stop him from this in the like Gundam colored gun cannon, we assume is his sister. Uh, name's failing me again. Anyways, so in this, so it kind of like makes him pause for a second and like since in this version, the Red Gundam here, they've introduced the psychomo or the the psycho system from the later series earlier into the Gundam. So it starts reacting with Char to the point where it almost has a similar reaction to what happens in Char's counterattack later on in like the original UC. And Char's Gundam just kind of has this massive energy kind of explosion, which does end up setting the asteroid off course of the base. But both sides of the war are to the point where they can't continue the war. The Federation, and the Zeons end up making a truce because neither can really, afford to keep this war going anymore. And in the explosion of like that energy, Char and the Red Gundam disappear. So this is where we cut. cut to where the main series is going to end up going forward here. So let me transition back here a bit. Here we have the Gundam GQuuuuuuX. This is actually Xeon's latest prototype Gundam after, obtaining the original and having the plans for it. This is what they've gone and, decided to, produce afterwards. So in the in a so we start off the second half of the movie, we start off following, basically this young little redheaded girl, um, Amate Yuzuria. We'll go with her nickname Machu for short. So so we follow Machu. She's kind of just going on her day-to-day life. And like she ends up running into, or rather, this while she's trying to get onto the subway or something, another girl, Nyan at the moment, the one in the purple in the picture here, she is running away from like the MPs and like runs into her. Next thing you know, she's checking her backpack. Neon has dropped like some sort of package into her backpack. And of course, later on, Neon got away from the MPs and like finds Machu again, tries to, grab back what she took. But then, Machu's outsmarted her, follows her to her little like, rooftop where she, had gone after trying to rip it back off from Machu. And Machu's like basically, let me in on this or else, I'll tell the MPs. So basically what it was is in this like post-war era, mobile suits have been basically been designated for public use now as long as their weaponry are disarmed. So you have Zaku's all over the place, acting as like the MPs, but there's a civilian side gig going on, basically, you know, mobile suit, mo- betting on mobile suit battles type of thing, where like they have basically two mobile suits on each side fighting each other, and whoever takes the head of the others wins the match basically. So of course, Machu and Nyan get involved with this like the mobile suit battle club basically, and like the one group they fall in with is on hard times anyways. They're near broke. They can barely afford to pay Neon as it is for the, weapons controller that she was smuggling to them. But as they're getting to this, the uh, Zeons are looking for they are still looking specifically Shalia Bull, Char's um, ally in this, or let's go ahead and start the terminology they're starting with this, that his MAV, as they call it, which terminology is basically a MAV is like a wingman to the mobile suit user in this now. So Shalia has basically been looking for Char and his Gundam for the last 5 years now since it's been since the end of the 1 Year War. So we go in and he ends up sending in the prototype GQuuuuuuX after they supposedly find out that Char's Red Gundam is running around this space colony that Machu is in. So things go down. The MPs get wind of like the fight between basically the GQuuuuuuX and the whoever's in the Red Gundam getting a bit of a tiff, and it comes into the colony eventually. the MPs get wind of what's going down. They think it's just like another like mobile suit illegal mobile suit battle club thing going on. But basically the red Gundam gets away, whereas like Machu accidentally falls in and like as like basically the Xeon pilot of the GQuuuuuuX, tries to ditch the suit and get away. But, right then and there, Machu and like one of the other Battle Club dudes fall down into the like access tunnel that, he was trying to hide the GQuuuuuuX in. And like, then like, Machi's got this weird, like, kind of death wish going on for a girl her age, I guess. But she basically, like, jumps out and jumps into the GQuuuuuuX, which for when the Xeon pilot was trying to work with it, its Psycom system wasn't really or Psychomo, whatever Psycho system. I just want to go Psycho because that's what I know. But anyways, the system wasn't working for the pilot yet. She jumps in along with like the battle group's Haro, which I don't know if that's a thing or not that's triggering something, but it immediately reacts to her. So the Psycom systems, letting her, lets her, the pilot the GQuuuuuuX. That's never going to be a good name to me. And basically, she gets outside, tries to escape from the MPs, and also has like a reaction kind of similar to what Char does when he has the explosion, where she sees like and she has a connection to whoever's in the Red Gundam at the time. So that's kind of like the end of that part. Next part, she's kind of like she's gotten away from the MPs and she's, basically taking the GQuuuuuuX back to the battle club people to, let them at it and let them, explore it. They find out that, it's like the Xeons, new unit, yada yada, but they can't get into it fully. But anyways, Machu ends up running into Neon again after well, actually, she ends up running into this other kid, Shuji, and he's kind of like on this weird kick. She kind of reacts to him because they're both new types, if you know what that means. Kind of their like space noid psychic powers. That certain new types tend to like react to each other at times, and she reacts to him and like she kind of has the intuition this Shuji guy. He's the one from the Red Gundam. Where Char is, we don't know. But anyways, so she gets him to like basically something during the whole like snafu with the GQuuuuuuX earlier with the Red Gundam, something broke, and he was trying to get something again to get the Red Gundam in fighting shape again. As like Machu's talking with him, up comes Neon with whatever he was trying to get. So, but in a small like snafu, the payment that he was gonna give Neon falls into like the gutter or like the river or something. I don't know what you would the water stream on the colony. And anyways, she so in a little bit of like three-way collusion, excuse me, Machu gets Suji to be her battle partner in the upcoming fight that she was, basically gonna join in with the. So the battle club that she falls into is the Pomeranians. Yeah, cute. So the so she gets the two of them registered for the Pomeranian team, and they have their first battle, which even though it's illegal, of course they're televising it in certain areas, and like the whole it's gonna be like this the typical first battle with an anime character. They're having a hard time, but they eventually figure it out and come out on top. So the interesting part of this, though, is that Shalia Bull is watching this at the time, and as he's trying to find Shar, but he knows that thanks to his pilot who saw Machu take off with the GQuuuuuuX, that there's this girl that's reacting to the psycho system like this. So so here's kind of where the movie kind of ends at this point. This is like our third episode that we're getting out of it, and so we won't see more until April or later, considering this is probably gonna be like May when we finally see anything new. So a lot of questions and stuff going into this. So we like I said, where's Shar? Char's nowhere to be seen after the explosion. What we're still like within the time period of the 5 years after the 1 year war, so we could still see characters from the original Gundam series, and we do obviously because Shalia Bull's still in play. Cassilia is still in power for the Zeons, from what we know. Um, Sayla, Char's sister, we don't know whatever happened to her after the asteroid. Um, and like honestly, one of the characters that Shalia Bull ends up interacting with was the what my brother said. He's the former fiance of one of the like girls that became the bridge crew in the original Gundam series, the one that ended up marrying Captain Bright later on. But anyways, so it's interesting because we still have chances to see characters from the original series come in, and like that, we never know what happened to Lala from the original series. She was a big part of Char's thing in the original series, but she's nowhere to be seen in this, as far as we know. And then Amuro, we don't know whatever happened to him. So it's like there's that, but then you can't figure that they're going to focus on them so much because this is our main characters are these like group of three kids now. So I mean, how much of this is going to be you know obviously Shalia Bull is interested in Machu's abilities and like how she's going to be able to like interact with the GQuuuuuuX, let alone, he's still trying to find out where Char and who's got the red Gundam running around. So that's going to be an interesting part. We don't know what Nyan's, far as we know, is like a refugee, and like she's just using this courier job to like try and pay for her family. So we get that Machu's mother is actually part of the government, serving under like the one guy who was supposed to marry the bridge gal, and like so on and so on. There's so many more questions to come, and it's like, mm, I don't know. So after all that plot BS, what do I think about like say the new designs? In action, I think the new mobile suit designs of the Gundams are actually kind of interesting. I don't know if I like them per se, but the Actually, the one interesting thing that I saw was like the way their like eyes light up, and it was kind of an interesting new way of, it's not just like an instant, flare of one light or something like it. Like kind of, uh, I want to say it would like kind of like slowly wipe, kind of a light up wipe kind of thing across the eyes. Plus, there's like, a whole thing with like multiple eyes underneath the face mask kind of thing going on. And like seeing the way you saw some of the mechanics, like you actually saw like the belts feeding the bullets into the like Gundam's like, head Vulcan cannons. That was interesting to see. And like, uh, it's kind of, I like it. Plus, the character designs of the new characters, are all kind of like heavily stylized. Whereas, I mean, and even so with, the original characters from the original series. But, you know, going back to Char, it's like, it's not like they're really changing stuff up too much. I mean, that's pretty much just, his normal look from the original series. So, but, you still look at some of the other characters later on. Shalia gets kind of a redesign in the later seasons because time's passed and everything. But he kind of gets a slimmer, more metrosexual look, I guess you could say. I don't know. That's what comes to mind in my head. I don't know. It's interesting. Plus, there's kind of like the whole young punk aesthetic with, some of the other, like battle group characters. So it's just kind of the question of, where's the whole series gonna go? Are we gonna focus more on the battling with, Machu? Are we gonna focus more on the mystery with Char's disappearance and, where the Great Gundam, went in the last 5 years? So it's going to be fun. I'm eager to see where the series goes. And from now, I think that's what I'm going to leave y'all with. It was kind of a fun experience, and, I'm wanting to see more. Well, I'll see y'all later and have a good one.